abandon the idea. I mean, post his presidency, it is clear in their constitution that the Speaker of Parliament takes over.
I don't remember at what point ECOWAS supported Blaise Compaoré.
I didn't say supported. I said subtly supported.
It's the same thing. It's just semantics. What you're saying is that ECOWAS
state funds and took over government in 2001. We assembled evidence and jailed some of their officials for having
political hunt.
Well, if you are a witch, you must be hunted, of course. So certainly.
Interesting.
I mean, because witches
politics
we know destroy. So if you are a witch, you should be hunted. We're able to assemble evidence to prosecute them and to obtain conviction.
Tell me, how successful was that Office of Accountability at the castle?
Well, it was successful. Very successful.
In hiding corrupt practices.
Tell us the cases.
In hiding.
Thomas Bruni.
Look, listen.
The Macmillan saga or Safo-Mafo. Why was the Safo-Mafo saga?
It wasn't just, an office to investigate corruption, but they also led policy reforms. That is why all the major anti-corruption laws in our country today were passed under the NPP government. Also, they are beneficial.
Interesting.
The public procurement,
they passed the Public Procurement Act. Ask him how President Kufuor brought Shanghai Group in that has generated this Women saga. Did you go to Parliament on the Shanghai Group company? No.
Okay,
public procurement says you must go if you are contracting a loan from a foreign entity. You must go to Parliament.
You get the chance to ask him all those questions.
You have no.
Make your point.
You have no.
Make your point.
My point is simple. If the NPP allegedly stole public money, we have been out of office since January 7, 2009. They have been in office since 7th January 2009. 6 years on, they are yet to successfully prosecute even one official.
Could it also mean that you covered your backs very well?
Covered?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question.
They have the state machinery
to find out if
every criminality that has been perpetrated.
Now you can ask him your question.
Yes.
1 minute. Now over to you.
Yes, you see, it's interesting that the position he takes. Okay, now what I'm asking him is very simple. Public Procurement Act. Yes, you brought it into being. Did President Kufuor abide by the Public Procurement Act when he single-handedly brought in a company that did not take part in a bidding process to construct the stadia in Tamale and Sekondi, the Shanghai Group of companies? There is no record that they ever went to Parliament.
You remember?
What happened?
I remember that was during the Cantu.
Yes.
If there's no record to that effect, what it means is that a crime was committed against the people of Ghana, because a violation of suspension.
For heaven's sake.
Look,
the president has a certain level of indemnity.
His immunity ends 3 years after leaving office. You can bring criminal civil actions against the president 3 years after he ceases to be president.
You are trying to justify a wrong. I'm on the ground. I'm on the floor now. I'm on the floor now. I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor.
You ended.
He asked me a question.
Yes, and you've answered, but you're just trying to justify a wrong. Now, how do you also respond to questions? How do you also respond to how state lands were looted and shared? Yes, basically looted. Because when you have land, when you have land in Denyami, for example, which is supposed to be the airport residential area or prime area of Ashanti region, in the Ashanti region of Kumasi, being sold, an acre of land there being sold to former President Kufuor and his chief of staff, 1,000 Ghana cedis. When you have land, a cantonment being sold to members of the NPP and apologies of the NPP,
so you want
at peanuts
to that. So let me.
A sitting member of Parliament, Honorable Esela Owusu, she acquired about 0.7
all these
acres
names you're
of
calling
Ghana.
are not here to defend themselves.
No, but this is fact. Ghana Airways flats at Roman Ridge have been they were shared.
It is a fact.
Don't call me. They beat the gong.
Apparently there was some don't call me on some land.
Look,
let me tell you something. Nanado, the current flag bearer, of the NPP, said that he was called by the then Minister for Works and Housing and told that they were sharing land into International Student Hostel, where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs sits now. He should come for his share. And Nanado said it was immoral, and so he would not take part in it.
Nanado, listen to me.
Said it was immoral, and you sit here, then you want to defend it.
So Nana Addo has some good character.
I'm saying yes, even Nana Addo says it was immoral. Even Nana Addo.
He has a good character.
He has some traits.
Because even Nana Addo have said that Nana Addo is not a good candidate.
I see on your tablet.
I'm just saying that so Nana Addo.
I see.
My opinion doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I'm just making a point.
Agba, on your tablet you have I am for Nana. Nana says it was immoral, and you are here saying it is right.
Immorality doesn't constitute illegality. He knows that there's the Accra redevelopment policy, which has been in place since January.
So Nana Addo was wrong?
So the fact that
Nana Addo was wrong.
Immoral does not make it.
So Nana Addo was. You have I am for Nana on your thing.
Listen,
was Nana Addo
wrong?
I'm not here to make a judgment whether Nana Addo's position
well, you've been making a lot of
you passed a lot of judgment on President Mahama.
My point is simple. Immorality doesn't
equality, honesty, and truthfulness.
You know, one question I have for you. One question I have for you. Was Nana Addo wrong to call it immoral?
Well, that was his opinion.
What's your opinion?
About the implementation of the
About what's your opinion? You've had a lot of opinions to share today. What's your opinion? What's your opinion?
It was a policy brought on board by Jerome.
Agba Bagbin was speaking to you. Truthfulness, honesty, and equality.
Okay, let's move on. Alright, so that's the Informer newspaper. The Daily Dispatch newspaper. National Sanitation Day. MMDA is blamed for refuse pile-ups. The Prof. Atukwe interview. On the back page, of course, there's a picture there of the local government minister, Julius Debra, talking about Sanitation Day. And, you know, I thought that the National Sanitation Day was such a beautiful initiative, getting people to come out of their homes to clean. But in some communities, the rubbish was just left on the shoulders of the road. The next day it rained and it's all been washed back. Right. So what did we do?
I think that, you see, these are some of the teething problems with an initiative like this. This was the first time we basically implemented this and this administration. There were one or two challenges. A lot of people have had very fantastic ideas, which I think the ministry is looking at. In fact, people have said that we should be able to do a separation of the general National Sanitation Day from the markets. Because if I'm a market person and I live at home, which of the areas do I clean? Okay, and if you look at jurisdictions where they have this, in Nigeria, for example, the first Saturday is a National Sanitation Day. But what they do is on Thursdays, the markets do their cleanup. So that if I'm a market woman or a market person, I do my cleanup one day before Saturday, on Thursday, then Saturday we do the cleanup at home. So that you're able to have people participate everywhere. Now we also need to look at how well we can strengthen the refuse collection exercise, where the waste companies that are responsible must be out and doing, and must be up and doing actually in the discharge of their duties, because it is a disincentive for people to come out and clean, and the waste is not collected and it goes back into their gutters. The next time you call them, they wouldn't come out. Exactly. But I believe that this will be fixed subsequently as we move forward.
Well, it's a very good initiative. We need to keep our environments clean. There's a religious dictum to that you know, cleanliness is next to godliness.
Absolutely.
So we certainly will have to keep our environments clean in order to get closer to our God. I think also that we need to enforce bylaws, because there's a number of bylaws, you know, on sanitation. The problem has been enforcement, the political will. I mean, virtually, you know, parties in government things necessary about the next election, and so they sometimes relax the laws and allow people to abuse the system. We need to ensure that the laws are strictly enforced so that we do what is right. I mean, we should not dedicate, you know, a day in a month for, I mean, it should be an everyday. You know that you have to keep your environment clean. When you wake up in the morning, you have to sweep around, clean your gutters, make sure that you put things, you know, in proper position. And those who collect waste, I mean, the private people who have been engaged by various assemblies to collect, you know, waste generated, you know, daily, there should be a monitoring mechanisms to ensure that these people actually deliver the services for which they are engaged. I mean, most of them receive huge sums of money, but they do not render the services for which they are paid, and there's no system to ensure that they are checked. That is why we have, you know, refuse piling up every now and then, because if those who are paid to collect these refuse are actually doing their job, we certainly will not have such situation. And we also need to have more and more, damp field signs, because I hear in Accra it's only, I mean, the one that has been used for decades is getting fuller, so it means that alternatives are
I think Agba makes a very fantastic point on the fact that we need to strengthen our monitoring and evaluation. And you see, on the last point he ended on, which is the landfill sites, government has a policy which is being piloted or being implemented through a PPP program, where we're actually moving away from just using the landfill sites to being able to use put up recycling plants where the refuse in itself is used to produce compost. Right now you have one like that, the Accra compost plant, ACAP. Okay, that is producing compost. And actually compost is better for the soil than the inorganic fertilizers that we produce. And so at the end of the day, it's something we must look at. I know that the Minister for Local Government, I had interactions with him, and he has fantastic ideas with how to improve the monitoring and evaluation bit at the MMDA level to ensure that we get value for the monies we are paying in.
Cities of filth in 100 days.
Sorry?
Clearing our cities of filth in 100 days.
Well, you see, at the end of the day, filth is not generated by ghosts. Unfortunately, there are no ghost names when it comes to generation of filth.
But that 100 days
filth is generated by ourselves. Okay? No. You see, it's something.
Well, we had a promise of that sort. Didn't we? 100 days. First 100 days. Accra will be clean.
Government put in place an effort to do that, and we are still on it, because you see, at the end of the day, the filth is generated. The filth is generated by who? By us ourselves. And so we need to take responsibility for our actions. Agba, you can't generate filth and expect Agba to come and clean it for you when you know that you have exactly. So I keep saying that at the end of the day, it comes back to us and our lifestyles. You understand me? Government can
feel very patronized.
Government can choose to clean the city, and we will make it dirty again. We need to make sure that our lifestyles and our lifestyle choices.
Sam George, one appeal though. We don't want our president in the gutter. We don't want it.
Leadership by example.
No,
I'm not in it.
It's leadership by example.
Share populism.
And the president should be in the right attire to get into the gutter. He wore the same outfit to the Hokochecho festival. Did you notice?
You're bringing it to my attention.
So you don't need to get into the gutter to signal people that they need to clean the environment.
The president should probably fire the people who are supposed to ensure, or you don't agree?
Well, I think that's the president's prerogative.
All right, but next time, those who manage the president should give the president the right attire to clean. And then when
he was in Wellington boots, he was in hand gloves.
But he was wearing the same shirt and the pants.
You expected to see him wear an overall.
No. But he took the same attire to a festival.
Well, that's the incompetence.
But don't forget.
How has that got to do?
I think you should treat the content.
I think I'll treat it with all the unseriousness it deserves.
But don't forget that sanitation exercise was not just for the president to walk. The president just go into the gutter. There was an occasion. There was a ceremony. It was part of the Homowa festivals, ending the Homowa festivals and cleaning the AMA zone. He attended a function. So except you're saying that we should not have the president wear the same attire to two functions, because that function was not just a cleanup.
But what was it?
There was a sanitation drive.
He was still some rubbish, and then he took it to the festival.
Mr. President, I think you need to hire Ndanaba as your wardrobe assistant to fix your wardrobe.
I think I'm comfortable with this job. I'm comfortable here. All right, the Daily Searchlight. Buna for farmers threaten MPs. We will vote against you if you support GMOs. Oh, that's a wild threat. It's the same thing the carpenters should do. We will vote against you if you don't buy our chairs. Achimota market to be raised down, that's a question. Parliament GFA in tricky duel. House to probe World Cup as Nyantechi provides checkmate. On the back page, oh, that's a man after my own heart. Floyd Mayweather on top of world with $105 million for 72 minutes work.
Wow.
Guess what?
That's a misleading headline. 72 minutes in the ring. But endless hours. You need to see his workout regime. The hours he puts in the gym to be in the shape that it takes him 72 minutes. So it's that's what I'm saying is misleading. If you think he just 72 minutes, he puts in hours on end training. So
I love Mayweather.
He's the money man.
Yeah, he's the money man. I love him. Okay, Feyenoord star Elvis Menu needs nationality switch to be able to play for Ghana. Well, obviously. England call on Berahino and Downing. England. Habitual disappointment every
Somebody says we should call them the 3 cats instead of the 3 lions.
Well, that's true. And our last paper will be the Mirror. Edward Ejekumpofo, yes, you guessed right, that's the son of the former president, kicking out Ebola. Page 10 and 39 have the story. Latest craze: bleaching, injections, and pills. Yes.
It's no longer milk, eh?
The milk, right?
I've been taking milk since infancy.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that I don't know what kind of milk we need in Ghana, because I'm taking so much milk.
Maybe it's milk abroad, but Mayweather is still dark.
You know.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, beads talk at Hogbachocho Festival, but the scary thing is that people are actually taking capsules to change their skin. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the motivation is.
Well, we should blame you, the men.
I like my women black and beautiful.
Oh.
Well, the most important thing is that you should be beautiful. If you are fair and you're not beautiful, I mean.
I hear a lot of fair ladies are beautiful. It's hard to find.
You know what I do? You know what I do in my mind? No. When I see a fair lady, I have a Photoshop software running in my brain, and I put a black filter on her to see what she really looks like.
On that note, we have to say thank you for your time this morning, for joining us on the newspaper review segment brought to you by Lipton Tea, the world's #1 tea brand. Thank you very much to Akbar Khomeini. He's a member of the NPP communications team, up to a lot of mischief this morning.
Very mischief. But that's why you brought him down from the north.
But some George actually kept you in your right place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Leave that to the
people.
viewers.
Yeah. I think he actually, stopped your mischief at some point. But yeah, very, very good submissions from you. Samuel Nate George. He puts the Nate there to let you know that he's a gun, not a fancy presidential staffer. Thank you both of you for your time this morning.